Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
What's up, everybody? What's up? That ended too quickly.
Hey,
What's
Hi.
up, everybody?
I'm trying to
What's up,
see if
Jack?
my volume's good. You guys talk amongst yourselves real quick.
you sound good
No,
to
you
me.
sound good. You
I don't know if we can actually tell what the audience is
You
hearing.
can't tell what the because
course.
of the
StreamYard. No,
I've been gone.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh!
you're back
And
in
someone's
Texas.
been fiddling with your office. I saw
I saw a
someone in
house
there.
in there, a Twilight house.
Is it still in the background somewhere?
I
She hide
think
it?
Edward is still there. Like he hasn't not moved. It's over his right shoulder.
Somewhere over here?
Yeah.
Or over?
I don't see him anymore. You used to see his face just kind of sitting, but
Well,
maybe it's behind the
if we-
chair. I don't know.
Oh, it's hard to tell.
Can't see his quaff back there, you know.
No.
Yeah.
Wait for that
I'm
Maybe it's
covering
for
it up
For
right
the-
now.
It's for the better.
It really is.
So the
Really
audio
is for the
should
better.
sound good now. It was going. God, it was going through my camera, but going through. Yeah, I have no idea.
That's weird.
Lovely.
That's what happens
I
when you
love
leave
that.
your
It's
place
not a
for a
great time.
while.
When you leave your place
Yeah.
for a month and you come back and all of a sudden like none of your Roku apps work and like
that weird?
computer won't recognize
Yeah.
your camera and it's like I didn't touch anything. I didn't
Mhm.
change anything. I didn't
Updates.
do anything.
Mhm.
Like it
It's
needs you around.
updates and our power went out like I guess 5 times.
Oh, that's annoying.
And it might
Oh.
go out tonight. It's
Oh,
it's a little
that's
nice.
crazy right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Just to acknowledge real quick the horror that happened in
Yeah.
Kirk County, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tragic.
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 That's been going since Friday. No, people are already making it political and they're pieces of shit and fuck them all.
It's crazy
Uh,
that they're doing that.
The way the geology is in the hill country is it's basically old rock, right? It's like a dome of
Mm.
granite, of like Precambrian granite. So when it rains really hard, it just rolls right off it. And
Yep.
you guys have probably already seen the video of the Guadalupe River just getting pummeled.
Yeah.
Just
Pick
5
out
minutes.
Rose in 45 minutes. Yeah. Just
Yeah,
Yeah.
our reservoir is like
Crazy
half full
fast.
now. Like that was dead
Wow.
dry.
Wow.
And yeah, it took out a campground. It took out a Christian girls camp,
yeah. RV park.
RV park. Almost 50 people
Yeah.
are still unaccounted for. They found one person alive. Like I can't believe, like 12 miles away. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're gonna find everybody, which sucks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like it was horrible. And
Yeah.
you
No
go-
warning. Like it just rained a little bit extra. And
yeah, people are going to pick that apart and maybe they can put some kind of flood warning. Doesn't happen enough.
well, it
often
happened.
enough.
It happened at like 4 in the morning.
In the middle of the
and
night, and it was within
Oh,
45
really?
minutes. And you
Yeah,
couldn't-
it was
I
just
mean,
flash flood, crazy, freak of nature. So hearts go
Yeah.
out to everybody out there. Hopefully,
Yeah.
piece everything back together.
shout out to Donut Operator who's out
Dude.
there on the fucking ground,
Yeah.
getting
Wow.
Starlinks and looking for people and stuff. So shout out to
Awesome.
Donut, man,
That's
and
cool.
Yeah,
a
good. dude.
bunch of other people who are there. They actually had too many volunteers, so they had to like. They're like actually the traffic coming in that shows the goodness of people. The traffic coming in, they were like, we can't take anymore because we need to get the emergency
the
responders
emergency
in and
vehicles.
stuff, and it's going to be a mess for a long time.
Yeah.
But and it's still raining. It's raining right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. It's been
Wow, so it's gonna
crazy.
keep going.
Yeah, but back home, I'm good to be back. It's good to be back in my office, and I'm gonna have to burn it after this because Steph built a
Cleanse.
Twilight Lego in here.
Ugh.
So I guess I'll do a room tour and then set it on fire. You know?
Let it go.
It's spoiled. It's spoiled. Yeah, we got a fun show today. So we're gonna talk to Graham Langdon, who we met at Cosmic Summit. He wrote a book. And I wish I had time to do more research, but that I bought that book. X-Ray bought the book.
Right there.
The one thing I personally love about the mysteries of the ancient civilizations is the commonalities we find, the keystone cuts, the polygonal rocks. Well, this is one of those shows where he focuses on the navel region.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
which really
The
most
hands.
important region there is on Earth.
Hey,
Hey,
Where life
that's where
comes
life comes from, man.
That's where life
comes
is.
from. Yeah,
It's in there.
Beef
Well, for women.
right. So
But we put it there.
and we talked about it
Getting
like,
fed.
basically here, but he's written a whole book connecting what we talked about with Göbekli Tepe. You see arms going to the naval region. You see the same thing on Easter Island. You see it in Indonesia. You see it in South America.
Mhm.
You see it in Turkey. You see it everywhere. You see it in Egypt. It's nuts how many places you see it. He's also been to the Eye of Africa, the Richat. I never know what to call it.
Richard.
Richat.
I change it
The
every
Eye
time.
of Sahara.
I'm going to call it the chat structure. The
The
chat.
chats. I like that.
The possible Atlantis location.
The possible Atlanta. He's been there, and he's got some cool footage from it. So we're going to speak with him in a little about 20 minutes or so. Well, what's up, Garrett?
What's up?
Well, I'm a little tired. I'm sorry. I'm a little.
Okay, you did a trek in the
I
last
did.
couple days.
I
Did
did.
a road trip. So,
A long
dude,
drive.
I'm ready. I'm ready to talk. There's been some new stuff. This is kind of a little bit of a format change. I think this is a good way. We're gonna open the show with doing some news.
Yeah,
So,
just like Art did.
just like Art did, we're gonna open it up with a little bit of news, maybe a little bit of political news sprinkled in, but
Oh, yeah.
mostly in our on our sphere here, the kind of stuff
Yeah.
we talk about. But I'm ready to go.
What's up, Adam?
I'm also ready to go. I'm excited for this guest. I'm fascinated by the things that he talks about and the places that he's been. I've got lots of questions and yeah, just ready to get to it,
No, when I ran across his book, I was like, this is the kind of thing I have been looking for. Something that really just brought it all together.
Yeah.
Yep.
With
pictures.
well,
Yeah.
that
Pictures
duh.
that he
I
went
mean,
there
come on.
and saw these things.
Hi, X-Ray girl.
Pictures makes it easier. Hi,
nice
I'm
hat.
home too. Oh, I know. I feel like everyone
I'm
got
wearing
the
I'm
memo
wearing
to
the
wear a
Vegas hat.
black hat today.
Oh, I didn't even.
I'm
did
wearing
you? I always
Wearing
wear
a black hat. It's fine. It's fine.
I always do.
It feels good to be home. I miss America already. I'm sad I wasn't there for July 4th, but next year, the big 250, I will
I'll be there.
for sure.
250.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm coming home for that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
so let's-
excited to start.
Let's start with the big news of the week, and there was big news.
But
and
before
actually,
that,
oh yeah.
Oh,
I gotta-
yes.
Yeah, I gotta do
Before
my
that.
ad read.
but before
I
that,
gotta do
Sticky
my
note
ad read
has
real
told
quick.
us.
So you know what? Grok. There's been this very interesting thread on Grok right under D-Day Cobra's meme, which is basically if you want to find somebody who is a window licker, if you want to identify a window licker, it's the kind of person who
Immediately.
goes, Grok, is this true?
Oh yeah.
So if you
Grok,
want to
please
use an
explain.
alternative to Chat GPT or Zgrok, try Venice AI. So Alexis listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. It listens to us all the time, so I don't use it.
Oh, what is it gonna
Alexa,
say?
not Alexis, Alexa, whatever. She's a bitch.
Thinking.
Okay.
Meta retargets, is that what I want to read something else, X-Ray girl. Meta retargets us based on our browsing and engagement history. Why do we assume AI is going to be any different with Venice AI, Venice.ai? It lets you use AI without handing over sensitive information with features like, I'm just trying to correct X-Ray Girl misspelled something. I almost read it. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, I
am
wish
Ron
you did.
Burgundy.
What? There you go.
Private and permissionless. They don't spy on you or censor the AI. Messages are encrypted, and your conversation history is stored only in your browser. AI can be extremely valuable, just ask Shad, but we shouldn't need to give up on our privacy to use it. Open source AI models Venice open source AI model Venice utilizes leading open source AI models to deliver text code and image generation to your web browser. There's no downloads, no installations of anything. The Venice Pro plan, unlocks the full platform and features, including PDF uploads for summaries or insights, the ability to turn off safe mode for unhindered image generation. Now we're talking.
Geez. Okay.
Now we're talking unhindered
Rule
image
34.
generation.
Anybody?
Yes.
Sorry.
Be careful. Be careful.
I like it
Calm
already.
down.
The
Calm
ability to change how Venice interacts with you by modifying the system prompt, limitless text, and high image limits. If you want to use AI without fear of handing over the most intimate thoughts to a corporation or government, basically, if you don't want the AI knowing your porn search history, you can get 20% off your pro plan using my link, venice.ai/nerdrotic. and code Nerdrotic, or check out the link below for in the description.
Oh, that's very loud.
That was loud, right?
You had
Sorry.
Bigfoot there.
Yep.
You didn't talk to Bigfoot.
Oh,
You can talk to Bigfoot, and
It's
Bigfoot
actually him.
Bigfoot can make spicy images for you,
Yeah, unhindered.
unhindered images.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
You guys want to talk about big rocks in the sky?
Let's talk about big rocks in the sky. 'Cause
Sure.
it's big news. So as
Yep.
of all people mentioned it on Friday Night Tights. I caught wind of this I think the day it happened, day after it happened.
Better.
So Oumuamua, you are all familiar with Oumuamua. They
Yep.
think the image they show you everywhere is this big elongated rock. They have no fucking idea what it looks like. It's long, but it could have been a Battlestar Galactica flipping over. Like if you see there's one video of actual image, it's flipping like this, right? So it's an interstellar object, the first one that we've ever noticed. It came around the sun, and it came. It went around the sun, and it sped up.
Yeah.
And it freaked a lot of people out, and including a Harvard
and changed trajectory also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
that's
only
the
did
thing.
it speed up.
It didn't just like float through, it changed trajectory, which is strange.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Not normal.
No, it's not.
It's not normal. And then another one came around that was bigger, that they think was a comet. So they were trying to say was a comet. It was not a comet. So we don't know what it was. We have no idea. We kind of know the shape a little bit, but not really no idea. And we didn't have enough time to really track it properly. So now a third one's coming in. And the reason we're noticing these is we can detect them with this brand new freaking awesome telescope we have that's right now it's going to spend I can't remember how long amount of time. It's scanning the sky constantly, and it's getting super high res images. It's got a lens the size of a small car that's frozen. It's not frozen, but it's kept in a deep cold, a really cold temperature. So to remove any noise, any electronic noise at all. So it can detect if a star fades out. It can detect any differences in the sky, and it's going to be scanning it for a certain amount of time. We're going to get over I can't remember what the period of time it was. We're going to see, I think it's a couple years. We're going to see how everything moves. They're going to look into dark matter. It's also one of its uses is to detect anything that might, crash into our planet. So we're going to start seeing a lot more of these. And the trippy thing about this one is it's bigger than Oumuamua. It's bigger than the last one as well. We might possibly be able to determine its shape. The problem is the closest it's going to get to us, it'll be on the other side of the sun. So
Yeah, that's not good.
that's not good, but it will get kind of close to us on the way back, but we're gonna it'll be
Mhm.
like twice the length away that it would be if we were on the other side of the sun. And remember there, I can't remember his name. There's the scientist from Harvard who went on Joe Rogan and said, no, this is possibly this was some kind of propulsion. And he talked about like basically the solar sail, which would explain it speeding up. And that it would have to be because something doesn't speed up. It just
I think it was gases that were being released. I don't think it was a solar sail.
He talks about that and accounts for it. Yeah, he does. Because that would, if that was the case, then that would happen to a lot of comets and stuff. So and right now it's going the I forgot the exact speed, but it will be able to escape the solar system. So that's how we know it's interstellar.
Oh yeah, it's going insanely fast.
It's going insanely fast.
70 kilometers per second.
Yeah, per second, and it's 20 kilometers long.
That's it. What?
That's so big.
That's pretty big. That's pretty big.
Yeah. So they don't know. Now what might be giving us a false sense of how big it is it might be, there might be some gas coming out. It might be how it reflects. We don't know yet. We don't know until it gets closer. But a lot of talk around Oumuamua was it was a probe.
Yeah.
It was
it acts like one. It's going in, goes right through the, right around the sun, gets ejected back out, same direction. Yep. I mean,
did it go back like the same way it came in? I don't know.
Well, it bounced, came in, spun around the sun, and then I guess not exactly the same direction, just more.
Yeah.
So this one's coming in. If you look at the plane of the solar system, it's coming up, right?
Okay, from below,
and it's gonna. Here it is. Garrett's got it, and that's what it's gonna do.
Trajectory back out.
I'm just glad it's not going to hit us according to these trajectories.
Yeah, no, it's not even close. But the thing is, others could. Now we have another thing to worry about.
Yep.
Not just the Kuiper belt. We have like interstellar objects coming in and flying in, which maybe could have happened in the past. It's not like just because we noticed them, these are the actual first three. It probably happens quite a bit. And considering we've seen 3 in the last 6 years, 6, 7 years, 8 years.
Yeah, it's like, is it ramping up? Like, are we getting more and more and more?
Well, maybe because we are going into kind of a dusty part of space right now. And we
our whole solar system, you mean?
Our whole solar system. Our whole solar system.
Yeah.
Okay. And I who knows, but I think it's great. I think it's good that we're starting to notice the sky and maybe really kind of worry about it, because that's a real worry I think we should have.
Yeah,
agreed.
Like you just said, like along with the asteroids that we already have in our own solar system, now we have ones that are coming from other solar systems into ours, interstellar. Like, I mean, how do you even begin to think of a way to defend against something like that?
No. Right now, they
moon base, Mars base.
Yeah, another planet. We need to just get off of this planet so we have backups.
Yeah,
backups on backups.
Absolutely. That's how a civilization survives, because it's only a matter of time. And that goes for any planet. I'm pretty sure every solar system is the same. And they have to deal with, well, I mean, it's weird because, everything outside of our solar system kind of protects us too, in a way.
Jupiter, especially.
Jupiter does. My God.
A lot of that.
Shield.
I was talking to one of Melissa's friends.
Zeus.
Mm-hmm. He's a flat earther.
Oh, no.
It's like, space ain't real, man. It's a big dome.
Went to big circular conversation with a flat earther.
Wait, a circular.
Wow.
Hey.
I was like, I believe in a lot of crazy shit. Earth is round, buddy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Earth is round. But I think it's crazy, and we'll be able to so we'll be able to monitor it in October of this year. So, but gets closest to us, but unfortunately on the other side of the sun in next month. So that's how fast this thing is moving.
Damn.
Yeah, 156,000 miles an hour is some crazy. Like that's what it translates.
So if there was one that was
That's nuts.
it's going to make contact with Earth, we'd have like a few months before we got annihilated.
We're
Like that's not a lot of
if that's
time.
the case, no.
That's not a lot of time. I'm just going to choose to just think it's going to miss every time. There's something out there. Just
And if not, a quick death.
yeah,
I guess, yeah.
like a couple months. To
No,
just
the
think about
preppers
how
will be
you're
happy.
you're gonna blow up.
Well, that's why I don't understand why they're so obsessed with going to Mars. Like Elon Musk, it's like go to Mars, 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 Mars. And like, wouldn't
Plan
it
B.
make sense to do a moon base? To have a moon base. Now I know the atmosphere is not the same, and the gravitational differences is probably worse on our bodies than being on Mars, but it's right there
Yeah.
comparatively. It's
Well,
like
it could
our
be like a
backyard
jump start.
or going like to the next town over.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
what
that'd
if
be a good
we-
start.
What if we built a moon base and then we went to
Right.
the
Go to Mars
went to
from-
Mars from
from
the
the
moon?
moon.
It'd be a lot
Well, like,
easier, less
Yeah,
gas.
the
and
movie
all
Ad
that stuff to
Astra.
Get out of.
I really liked that movie, Ad Astra, because there was like some semblance of trying to remain realistic, and they had the moon base. He had to go to the moon first to then take a rocket from the moon over to Mars because it was a bigger rocket and they could fuel it there, and then it went to Mars, and then he had to load up and leave to Uranus from there. But I don't know why we don't do a moon base. I'm just waiting for it.
Did you know?
Or
did
is
you
there
know-
we
moon
not going
bases
there?
already?
You know, there's a
Yeah.
place
Oh.
in Missouri and in North Carolina that makes fudge from Uranus. It's a
Wow.
real place. It says
I bet it's
fudge
delicious.
from Uranus. I guess it's a chain.
Wow.
Is
guess
it
the
owned
chain-
by Zorbu?
Maybe. Buster Nut Smash for $100.
Whoa!
Damn, Buster. Thank you,
Two-year
Buster.
member as of this week. Hail, weirdos. What's wrong with you, dude? Thank you.
The same thing that's wrong with us. Apparently.
Thank you.
Cheers. So we're gonna maybe break down and do a whole show on that.
Yeah, that's
I gotta-
wild.
Yeah, we'll do a whole show, not on fudge, but on
Oh, on Blood
Fudge from Uranus.
on
Full episode
Noah-
breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
that's the name of the place. All right.
I
Is it
tried.
a town called Uranus and they make the fudge there?
No, because it's well. At first, I thought that, but I mean, there's one in North Carolina, and then there's one in Missouri too. If I had time, I would have gone by.
Should have gone to
Yep,
the
check
one in
it.
North Carolina.
Gotta
We were
check out
there.
Uranus.
We're basically
Um,
there.
Yeah. So, also, what else was in the news again? We were going to talk about something else.
The
Oh.
Sprite.
Sprite.
The Sprite.
Sprite. Cut
Sprite.
from
That was
the
insane.
International Space Station.
I thought it was fake the first time I saw it.
So
I'm like,
check
this
I
has
agree.
got to be fake.
Yeah, this is cool.
So this
Yeah.
is one of the pictures I broke out during the flat Earth debate I was having on 4th of July with a drunk guy.
What did he say to this?
He said,
It's fake.
Well, I mean, it's from
he
NASA.
said no. He
so
said
you
that's
can't
a
trust it.
fisheye lens, and that's what makes it curve.
Wait,
That makes-
why isn't
come on.
why isn't the arm of the station also
Yeah,
warped?
why is
I don't
that?
know. I don't know.
Okay.
He was drunk.
Look at this thing though.
Yeah,
This
That is
super cool.
amazing.
Transient luminous event, a TLE, says it happens above the clouds and are triggered by intense electrical activity in the thunderstorms below. We have a great view above the clouds, so scientists can use these types of pictures to better understand the formation, characteristics, and relationship of TLEs to thunderstorms. I mean, I've never seen anything.
I've never heard of
it-
this. I've never seen this.
I-
This is crazy.
Is this the
Very
first
cool.
time one of these has been caught on camera? Because
I've heard of them
it's
before.
a split second. It's not like
Yeah.
it's like lightning,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
catching.
So this was. I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on. Hold on. I'm
Go
gonna
on.
get way out there.
Go on.
Let's go
I'm ready.
3
Yeah.
days ago, this was posted. They saw this
Mhm.
over
over
Texas,
Mexico.
over Mexico and Texas.
This was over Texas or
Weather-
Mexico. There's a difference. Close enough, I guess.
That's what
One's
I'm saying.
America, one's Mexico.
One could it could be okay.
Okay.
They're starting
It's the
storms.
geography
What's going on?
All right. Okay.
This is over storm areas.
So it might be the same
thunderstorms?
storm. Well, wasn't that storm that
Harp?
went over
Are you- is that where
Kerrville,
you-
like
Harp?
leftover tropical storm? Yeah. From
And there
from
was
Mexico.
this wild stuff on Twitter, you know, so I don't want to get too far into it, but they were saying that there are rain enhancement programs in the hill country, in the same area, in the same region.
saw
So I don't know
that.
what does that mean? What is a rain enhancement? Is that
didn't
where
even
you
think
put
about
chemicals
that.
in the air to make the rain like thicker or something?
I
Like,
looked at the
what-
map. I actually looked at the map of that, and it was mostly
What does that
west
mean?
and north Texas, though. And
Okay, so it's
where was
more
all
like
this flooding?
Lubbock area?
Where was this flooding
Hill
happening?
country,
Hill country, which is
Where
like
was that?
South
East,
Texas.
a
South Texas.
little
Okay.
northwest of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Below Austin, right in that area down there. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions. I'm just throwing things out.
Yeah. I mean,
Just kinda-
you're right to ask those kind of questions, though.
But sprites, that's super cool. Never heard of it. Didn't know it was a thing.
Someone
It's-
introduced me to an interesting. I forget what his field is, but he was talking about this and breaking it down, and actually the alignment of the planets and everything is actually supercharging the Earth to be very electrically active right now.
Really?
Yeah, and so he's like, I'm not surprised that this happened, and wouldn't be surprised if more of these start happening. Just because I don't remember, he had a great image of the solar system as it stands right now, or excuse me, when this picture was taken. Like all the planets were on one side of the sun; they were all together. And he was saying something about the way the sun is acting up as well. It's just the Earth is super electrically charged at the moment. I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but yeah,
what does that mean? But
yeah,
whatever it is, sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I
That
just
was an
think
interesting-
we're I mean, as technology gets better, we're able to see more stuff. And that's
Yeah, like our
pretty
lens is
freaking
getting further and further
Stefan
away, so
Burns
we can see
said-
more.
If anyone's interested. Stefan.
Now, how
Burns
much
did a
do they
great
show
live
us? Not much.
Right.
Not much.
stream. Mhm.
Yeah,
It's beautiful though.
I spend hours going over Mars images, and I see a bunch of weird stuff that I guess you can write off as really strangely shaped rocks, but there's a lot of right angles and a lot of weird stuff if you spend time looking through it. If you're really bored like me, and I wasn't
Right,
really
Bear-
bored, I was really into it. But
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into whatever this rain enhancement program thing is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have cloud
Mhm.
seeding.
It's
Why
weird.
wouldn't they have rain enhancement? We've had a drought in Texas
Yeah.
until like recently, and that storm did just kind of sit there for a while.
I did.
Mm.
Weird.
It was bad last night too. And you got to figure if there's something electrically coming down, there might be something going up. Although there's nothing to ground it, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It looked pretty cool. It's a Stargate, maybe. Maybe chat. Maybe.
One can
Hey,
dream.
Mr. Ball,
Right?
you're onto something.
Oh God. There was the ball lightning. I
There's-
bookmarked it.
Do you have that video? I think I
I
saved it
I
too. Hold on.
bookmarked it. Yeah, hang on.
That was a cool video.
That's
See,
it.
but I have to think about AI and CGI and all this stuff. It's like ball lightning. Like I saw that ball lightning video. I was like, well, that's really freaking amazing. Oh wait, is it real though? You know, I
Yeah,
know
it's the
we talk
trouble,
about
man.
You never know.
UFOs, UAPs, like all that stuff. It's like, can we even trust this stuff? But same with this kind of stuff. You know, I saw someone posted this lightning picture, and it was like, look at this beautiful piece of like nature, and then it turns out it was CGI. And everyone was sharing it like it was real.
Oh, did you
Man,
also
it's
see this
infecting everything.
over the weekend? 19-year-old pilot has been detained in Chile
Right.
after altering his flight plan and making an unauthorized solo flight to Antarctica.
Who's he hurting?
Yeah, like what? You can't. I mean, I guess if you're gonna you go off the plan, it could be dangerous or whatever. But
I mean,
nobody else is going over the Arctic, so who's he gonna hurt?
right.
Come on, I want to see what he saw. What did he see?
I want to talk to him.
You saw the
What
Agartha
could
hole?
possibly
What's up?
happen? It's
What
like
I've
the
never
canyon.
understood about Antarctica is it's the one thing on Earth every country can agree on for some reason.
It's very weird like that.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
They
What's up
all
with
have their
that?
little bases up there, and they all agree, hey, nobody's allowed to come up here.
Yeah, we're all going to honor everything. And there's been some disputes in the past, but like not many.
Right.
Let's be real.
How is
So,
that
trust
fair? That's crazy.
I think that's very strange.
Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna. It's too dangerous, guys. It's too dangerous up here,
Is this
so
a
we're just all
K-pop
gonna
pilot?
agree.
What the hell?
He's up there doing dances.
He looks very
He's got
pretty.
a bird on his shoulder. Jesus
Yeah, get a
Christ.
little bird. What's up?
That's
Hey,
Oh my
this
God.
I didn't even
this
notice
kid's a
the
pilot.
bird. What?
I'm putting respect on him. He's a pilot. He's 19. That's awesome. He's going to freaking Antarctica. Let's go. This guy's
I hope he
badass.
saved. I hope he saved that for last, because he's trying to. He wants to
Yeah.
go to all the continents, but like at least save. I hope you did all the other ones first, because you might. I don't know if you're going to be detained. What is being detained anyway? It's like not.
Don't do it
would
again.
Say arrested.
Don't do it again. Don't you dare fly over Antarctica
Uh-huh.
and see our alien base.
And see all the stuff that's not there, right?
Yep.
Guys. Nothing.
That's not there. There's nothing there. It's just
Nothing to see.
just this. Probably not even his picture. They just put this. This is what is there.
Yeah,
Just nothing.
This is just AI.
It's just, oh God.
Just AI.
I'll tell you what,
Rock, is
though.
this
I
real?
wouldn't want to be there. I
Yeah,
wouldn't want to
no,
be in
so
that
it's-
picture.
okay, correct me if I'm wrong. This isn't the best time of year to be flying over Antarctica. Like, don't you want to go there in the summer?
Yeah, right. Isn't it winter there right now?
Or
It's-
It's winter there
It's-
all the time.
well,
it's like
no,
Narnia.
not.
Lands of always winter.
It's summer in the northern hemisphere right now, so it's just almost all dark right now.
Yeah.
So like flying down there right now would be stupid.
Well, he is 19.
He's 19.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we ready to bring on our guest? I see
think
him
we're
in the
ready.
background
Yes,
there.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's bring on
Let's see.
Graham
Yeah.
Langdon, author. We met him at Cosmic Summit.
That's
Yes.
right. Hey,
Welcome.
Welcome, sir.
can you hear me? Is my mic working all right?
It's
Yes.
working good.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yep.
How are you
Nice
doing?
background there.
Doing great. Yeah, thanks.
Beautiful.
I'm actually at my friend's studio. So
Oh, right on. Right
Yeah.
on. Well, I saw your book and it was something I've been looking for a long time, something very specific that kind of puts together, and I talked about it earlier, but there's keystone cuts, there is certain shapes like spirals, there's certain statues, there are polygonal walls that all look very similar that
Mhm.
are on almost every continent, maybe Antarctica too. We don't know yet.
Mm.
In the world, that kind of look back to there was some sort of commonality somewhere.
that's right.
And yes, not the Keystone Cops, chat, the Keystone Cuts. Okay, I'll do an entire show on those things. I
Those two.
I saw one for my first time in Peru, and I lost my mind. I'm like, that's what I was,
He was
looking
like,
for.
It's right there. It's right there. Everybody look over there. Right there.
They have those everywhere. You can find them in
Yeah, it's
Peru. You can
wild.
find them in Cambodia. You can find them in Egypt. You can find them in Mexico. I mean, they're everywhere.
Japan. Like they're,
But
they're everywhere.
what you noticed, and we've brought it up a little bit in the past, and so is Graham, is the navel.
Yep.
That's right.
There's a lot of places called the navel of the world, but this is like statues pointing to the navel, and they're all over the world, and you have collated them into a beautiful book. So please, first of all, what got you into this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been a curious researcher of ancient civilizations for the last 20 years, and that brought me to traveling to a lot of these places in my free time, on vacations, whenever I had the money to travel. But I started realizing when I would go to museums around the world that there were statues and figurines, I like to call them idols, from almost every ancient culture I looked at that had their hands in the same position. So as I'm going to museums around the world, I'm wondering, like, what is going on here? Why are all these ancient cultures repeating this same symbolic motif? And so then I just started photographing them all and put them in a book.
And again, everywhere, Indonesia, and also, I mean, and some of the facial features are kind of similar too. Not every time, but there's like this owl-like face, where they have the brow across the eye and the longer nose.
Mhm.
You see a ton of that too. How many countries have these or do you know? Do you have a number?
I mean, all the ones that I've been to probably total somewhere between 21 to 23, but I have since found about more that I haven't seen yet. So it's really anybody's guess how many countries these are represented in, but definitely in the 20s, maybe more.
It's absolutely insane. And if you look at this, so what do you think? I know what Graham thinks, and I know what Randall thinks. What do you think is behind the focus on the navel?
connection.
I mean,
Yeah,
That's pretty
absolutely.
obvious, I
Well,
guess.
if
Are they navel gazing? What is?
Are they navel gazing?
if we could bring up my screen share real quick,
Yeah.
just for the audience, I can give them a quick debrief. So this is Urfa Man. This is the oldest statue, life-size statue of a human ever found. It's from the Tas-Tepler culture associated with Göbekli Tepe. It's from about 9,500 BC. This is one of the oldest representations we find of it, but also some of the T-pillars from Göbekli Tepe also have their hands in this position.
Mhm.
Some of the T-pillars from the other Tas-Tepler sites also have their hands in this position. And then they find other statues and fragments of statues also with their hands in this position. But then if we go to, this is in Indonesia, this is on the island of Sulawesi, you never find just one. So this isn't an isolated statue. There's hundreds of megaliths littered on this island and many statues with their hands in the same position. In Polynesia, the Tiki god of the Marquesas Islands and the Society Islands, the Tiki god was their chief deity. He was always represented with his hands in this same position. This is another image of the Tiki god. Easter Island, of course, everyone's familiar with Easter Island. There's nearly 1,000 moai on Easter Island, and all of their hands are in this same position. This is a civilization or a culture from the Amazon, from the Colombian Amazon, called the San Agustin. They carved many statues with their hands in this same position. It's kind of interesting, too, to note this guy's got fangs, and a lot of other statues will pop up with fangs as well. This is from the Incan civilization. This is kind of like the default or de facto Incan idol. The hands are in a very similar position. And then this is in Israel from Beersheba. This is from the first culture to work copper in Israel. And then this is from a pre-Incan civilization called the Lembayek. And you can see his hands are in the same position. This is a ceremonial Toomey knife. They would use this to slit the throats of their sacrificial victims. And then, yeah, Urfa Man. So it's a global phenomenon. It's everywhere. And I think if you want to get into the meaning of it, there's two layers. There's like, what does the symbol itself actually mean? And then what does it mean that it's found in cultures all over the world? And
well, let's do the first and then the second.
Okay, so the actual meaning. A lot of these statues and figurines and idols are listed in the museum as fertility idols, right? So I think they are symbols of fertility. But the fact that fertility was expressed in the same way, think of like, if civilization got wiped out and there were just no records of anything, and then future archaeologists found a figurine of Jesus on the cross, and they found it in Peru, and they found it in Australia and Japan and the United States and in Spain, they might say like, oh, this is a creator deity. And they might argue about whether or not they're related at all, or that's just the easiest way to depict somebody. But it would only scratch the surface of a global religion that spent thousands of years sending its missionaries out all over the globe to spread its religion. And so I think that it's a symbol of fertility, but I think that's probably just scratching the surface of what was probably a global cult or a global something similar to a religion, but not only a religion, because I think we're also seeing a lot of other things spread with this symbol. We're seeing agricultural practices, we're seeing metallurgy, we're seeing stoneworking techniques, right? Why do all these cultures have polygonal masonry? Why do they all have nubs? Why do they all have other similar symbols? I think we're looking at a package of skills and symbols and myths that we're all diffusing together. And this is probably the clearest evidence that that was happening, in my opinion.
You also mentioned that like the V right here, actually, that this guy has right across his chest. You see that similarly, and it almost could be representing of like a holy man almost from if you look at it in that perspective, or like robes. And you actually, I don't know if I saw them through this little thing, but you have shown others in some of your videos. That's also something you see in other statues. That V,
similar clothing.
That's right. The V-neck garment is found in examples of these idols also all over the world. And I think we're looking at some kind of like garb or regalia that was indicative of the elite of this cult or order, or whoever they were. The V-neck, I think, is denoting that they were of an elite status of this group of people.
The sages, the watchers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned I don't remember where I heard you say this, but the only place that there was two sets of hands was on Easter Island.
That's right.
On one of the statues. What do you think that was? You kind of just mentioned it, and I'm like, whoa, but what do you think it means?
That's a great question,
curious.
right? In some level, maybe that's the key to the whole thing. I have no idea. There seemed to be nothing particularly exceptional. That statue is aligned to the winter solstice. So that was the one interesting thing. And you see a lot of other structures aligned to the winter solstice around the world, right? Like Stonehenge is aligned to the winter solstice. And, you know, that kind of pulls the thread on this whole other topic of why did ancient cultures around the world align their structures painstakingly to the solstices? That was not an easy thing to do. And I think that practice was also part of this cultural package that seems to have been spreading around the world. I don't just a thing. People wake up and simultaneously just start aligning their buildings to the solstices. I think that was like a skill that they learned or inherited from someone who had been doing it before them.
Yeah. And there had to be something that was the impetus to behind this, like a disaster,
right?
Some
cataclysm,
disaster, a cataclysm, and there was a need. You know, it is, of course, it's even in the Bible, and I mentioned it earlier. But be fruitful and multiply. Maybe it was, that's definitely where I think it is. I think it was some sort of civilization where the survivors went out and said, you know, if we're going to survive as a species, we need to kind of get the hell going right now.
Right here,
look right here, grow some food, you know, get it on.
Well, that's absolutely right. And I mean, look at the flood myth, right? The biblical flood myth that's repeated in Mesopotamia. It's repeated in India. It's repeated in Peru. It's repeated in a lot of these places that we find the naval idols. And so it's pretty easy to conceive of some early agricultural society that had figured out a lot of this stuff. And along comes a flood and nearly wipes them out, right? And so why does Noah or the patriarchal figure save 2 of every animal, right? Well, they were probably saving breeding pairs of domesticated species because it had taken hundreds, if not thousands of years to domesticate the cow or the sheep or the pig. And if that got wiped out, they would have lost all that work and the cornerstone of their people and their survival. And so, yeah, I think probably this ties into the flood myth because we do find that myth in a lot of the cultures where these idols are represented. So something probably came along, nearly wiped them out, and then they decided, perhaps at that point, we need to plant the seeds of our way of life around the world. We need to teach people everywhere how to grow crops, how to domesticate animals or like raise livestock, how to work stone, how to study the stars, and all of these things. At least that's my best guess.
Maybe these statues of this figure is how all these civilizations around the world saw the figures that came to teach them agriculture, to try to maybe the survivors of the cataclysm that were trying to reach out and trying to save the world. I mean, Graham Hancock gets a lot of heat, you know, from the white supremacy thing because he said that it was white guys with beards. According to the legends, not according to Graham, because according to their own lore, that's what it was. I don't know. I'm reaching, obviously, but I could see that could be a possibility. That's why you find it everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we're looking at is like an 11,000 year long game of pass the torch. So the people from Turkey, maybe they made it to Bulgaria or they made it to India and they started things there. And then the people from India moved east to China or Japan, and then from there moved to Polynesia, and then the people from Bulgaria moved west and they made it to England or Spain or Portugal, and then from there, I think crossing the oceans, transoceanic contact probably happened at a much earlier date than is accepted because we do see symbolism jump across the oceans. I think that's pretty undeniable unless you really want to cling to the old paradigm. But I think a lot of the evidence is there to accept that.
I mean,
there's a lot of DNA too, connections.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, they found South American DNA in Easter Island.
Yeah,
that's true.
So we know that they were making, and it's like there's a transoceanic current. You literally just have to put a raft on the current and hold on for dear life, and you will make it across the Atlantic Ocean or across the Pacific Ocean and back too.
Oh yeah.
If we know anything about humans, we are crazy people that will do stuff like that. There's absolutely some crazy person back then that was like, I noticed there's a current over there. Let's get on a boat and let's try to make it. They will absolutely do that.
I
That's right,
think
yeah,
just sorry. I just think if you use logic, it makes a lot more sense that they already had boats. They had reed boats. That's how they fit. That's how they ate. They fished, and they probably had a guy who wanted. People are competitive. There's a guy who's like, I'm going to go out deeper and get bigger fish, and that makes a lot more sense than we just it's something imprinted in our DNA, and we just came up with it completely separately on different continents. Although we didn't have the same language, we didn't have language, we didn't have math. I mean, think about the first guy who lined up the winter solstice. Like, he has to do that a year ahead. He's like, oh, there's a thing called the winter solstice. Okay, I'm going to remember that. Then I'm going to put up a little stick, and like, he's got to mark it somehow, right? How do you mark it? And then he's got to convince a bunch of other people to cut giant rocks to line up to that. That's got to be a really fucking good argument,
perfectly align them. Yeah.
So it makes
way more sense. Those are enormous stones. It was not easy to align that to the winter solstice, but it's not just Stonehenge. It's like every other ancient structure that you can visit. It's aligned.
I mean, go back to Tepe or Karahan Tepe has it. The guy, or is that the summer solstice?
With the shadow. I think it's summer.
I don't remember which one
of
them.
The solstices, yeah.
One of them that the face lights up, and it's like.
I think that's the earliest example of a solstitial alignment anywhere on Earth.
Yeah,
and they want to build a roof that could potentially cover.
So stupid.
Oh God,
yeah,
so
such a shame.
Shout out to Hugh Newman, by the way, who not only discovered that, but is also trying to kind of make sure they at least cut an opening in the roof so that you can still see the alignment. And academics are still debating that that's not an intentional alignment. Bullshit. All of this was intentional.
Stupid. Well, I think it's a pride thing. I mean, it goes. Christopher Columbus, the Spanish, they love him, but it's like, well, Vikings, they probably have been there. You actually mentioned the Portuguese and the Azores, like, oh no, the Portuguese discovered the Azores. When, I mean, I also have some questions about the Azores for you, but they are so set in their ways. Like, no, we know the truth. This is the way it is, and they're just so stubborn.
It becomes a national piece of pride.
Incredible because you know who's. I mean. Slightly, it's still on the subject. We were just talking about Oumuamua, and I was watching a video from straight up scientists. Like, they don't believe, and they were talking about it speeding up, and they said, well, there's more exotic theories. They didn't say bullshit, and they
nice.
Said exotic.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
If they're willing to do it, how come archaeology can't go, well, there's more exotic theories out there that there might have been a civilization, and then there might have been some lead up time to build up what you said earlier. What Graham was like, we didn't just wake up with loincloths and go, hey, we've said it a lot. Let's carve in relief and align stuff. We don't know math, but shit, we'll figure it out. Let's just make.
We're going to use sacred geometry to all the things that we build, and it's going to perfectly represent the size of the Earth. Like, what?
We're just going to make it up one day because we're really bored. We had a good hunt. We got some excess food. Yeah. We're cool for a couple months. Why not?
Yeah, when you actually think about it logically, it's laughable. It's funny, right?
It is.
Of course, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So another place you have been, which I am excited about. You're crazy for going there, by the way. But good for you.
The reshot structure.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Well, first, tell me, how do you get out there? Like, is it really as bad as people say, or is it not as hard? Like,
I would say that it's not as bad as people say it is, but you do have to be very careful. You need a plan. You can't just show up and try to wing it. Yeah, we're looking at, we just looked at a few places, but you can fly into Nouakchott and take a bus to Atar. Atar is going to be your closest point of embarkation to the reshot structure. So there's people in Atar that can kind of hook you up with guides and a place to stay. And then you pretty much load up the truck with all your food and water and camping supplies. And you go out to the reshot, and it's like a multiple day journey. You're driving just through the Saharan desert. These are the roads. We're looking at the road to the reshot structure.
You're camping.
That's the road. Yeah,
for multiple days. So you're camping on the middle of the desert like this.
Pretty much, yeah. And if your truck dies, you're probably dead, right? So they all use Toyota Hilux trucks, and that's a good truck.
Yep.
That's a damn
Yeah.
good truck. Yeah.
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 We could get him in the
I
States.
got my eye on one.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, okay.
Wow.
So do you pick, like, is there a specific time of year you go so it's not as hot? Or do you just kind of go when you can?
Yeah, I mean, in this video, I look at the thermometer, and it's actually registering 120 degrees. So, yeah, I don't know the best time to go. I've been there twice. We're looking right now at the opening to the south. So there is this like huge channel carved in the southern end of the structure.
Yeah, wow.
That,
Look at
you know,
that. You're on
ships
like a
could have-
cliff.
Yeah, exactly. And you can imagine
crazy.
if it was filled with water, ships potentially like
Some shepherds out
entering.
there.
And you think that was
That's
carved?
amazing.
That was carved in.
The reshot structure is very mysterious. There's really no evidence of anything being carved or man-made, except for, you know, there's a video on my YouTube channel, if you can bring it up. The last time I was there, I was talking to nomads in the desert. There's like these nomads, they live in tents in the desert. There's a lot I don't understand about their way of life, but if you wander into their tents, they're happy to pour you tea endlessly. But if you can pull this video up on my YouTube, it's called Evidence of a Prehistoric Civilization or City Found at the Reshot Structure. There's a valley. And if you can scroll, keep going. The hand axis. Yeah. Okay, wait, pause it right.
Oh, right here.
There's another frame. Yeah, so these are Acheulean bifaces. These are 500,000 years old, and they've been found and documented by archaeologists in the reshot structure. But this guy,
500,000.
yeah, these are made by
Okay.
Homo erectus. These are not even Homo sapien tools we're looking at. They're associated with Homo erectus. These are worked tools. It's the second tool that hominids ever used. The first being the monoface, where they only carved one face. But these are Acheulean bifaces. They carved both sides of the stone. And there's this valley in the reshot structure where there's like probably somewhere in the thousands, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. It's like a 4 square kilometer valley where almost every rock that you find that's bigger than a flake is like one of these hand axes.
No
Why
way.
why would they be all collected like that in one location?
What?
And like, it looks like a city of Homo erectus, like a 500,000-year-old city is what this looks like. Like pretty much all the large stones you're seeing here, many of them are hand axes, almost all of them, except for the really big ones. If you get up close, you can see like a lot of these stones are worked. And
now, how far is this from the structure itself? Or is it within it?
It's just to the outside of it. Yeah, it's just to the north.
Okay.
You could walk there from here. But yeah, the question is like, how are they all on top of the surface after 500,000 years, knowing that this area has gone through multiple cycles of becoming a savanna and then turning into a desert and then back to a savanna and back to a desert. They think it maybe happens every 20,000 years, but I'm not sure if they really know. But yeah, just an incredible mystery here. And it looks like kind of like a proto city of a Homo erectus almost. So.
Wow.
That implies some kind of society where they were either, it was a factory or they were like a ceremonial location for like tools to leave or something. Like, that's amazing. You could just like step down, pick that up and be like,
so all the tools are left, but no structures. And I mean, I guess they would have been used for food, but no ruins or nothing.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, only stone would be left, right?
Well, you mentioned the black, white, and red stone that's used currently. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah. So if you flip back to my previous video that you had up earlier, that was like the first one that I did at the reshot structure. At some point, we're getting up to it. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, were all those objects for sale, by the way?
Yeah, you know, so there's like little huts and tents and stuff where they sell things that they find.
Wow.
And it's kind of anybody's guess how old this stuff is or like where it came from. But you're literally in the middle of the Saharan desert outside the reshot structure. And there's just this tent with these things for sale. So, you can find some interesting things. In one shot, there's like a seashell that I wish that I got that. Yeah, there it is in the bottom right of the screen. It's a big clamshell. I wish I bought
and also that
thing
I found very interesting. That looks like a weird cup, but like a
Yeah.
lemon
Yeah.
juicer. Like,
Right.
what is that?
Spoon.
It almost looks like a pipe, but there's no holes in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was
What
gonna
did you
say.
What did you get? Did you get anything cool? Are you allowed to say it? Do you not want to say it? I don't know.
Like, I guess we can preface that. Are you allowed to
Are you
bring
allowed?
stuff
Yeah.
back? Are you allowed to
Yeah.
leave with stuff? Technically,
Yeah, these are all good questions. Yeah, I didn't bring anything back, but
I didn't bring anything back.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, but if
No.
you scroll to an earlier part in the video, we do talk about the red, black, and white stone.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we're getting, man, I don't know. It's somewhere in there. But yeah, they do build. Oh, there it is. If you go,
Yeah.
right there.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe it was
So this
back
was
there.
a newer
okay.
structure,
Let me
right?
pause that. Yeah, it's a newer structure, but you can see that like they do have these like red stones and white stones and black stones. And Plato does talk about the red, white, and black stones that were used in the construction of Atlantis.
Mhm.
There we go.
There's a connection there.
The stone which was used in the work they quarried from underneath the center island. Also in the center of the island, at a distance of about 50 stadia, there was a mountain not very high on any side. Plato.
Yeah, he's giving
I'm
these
making my
really
son read that,
specific
by the way.
details, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. The mountain behind you, what didn't seem that big, and you even said something about it being like a mountain. I think you like made fun of it or something.
Yeah, I mean, like it's when you're on the ground there, you're just like in the middle of the vast desert, and it's really hard to tell what's what because it's just like the most
right.
And it's the scale of it is so vast that you really,
it's hard to tell.
It's just it's hard to tell up from down. You just feel like you're on Mars. But
it looks
Plato,
like Mars.
It looks like Mars.
It does, yeah. It's the most Mars-like terrain I've ever encountered.
Yeah, with 500,000-year-old stone axes on the ground.
Dude, that was crazy.
Oh, no.
It's like, we're looking for this 12,000-year-old city, but what if we found a 500,000-year-old city by Homo erectus? I mean, I think in a lot of ways that's almost more. Atlantis has a lot of like buzz and a lot of hype around it, but if that was a city that we're looking at there, or the remnants of a city, or some early industry or factory, that's going to predate Atlantis by 490,000 years. I think that's pretty cool.
You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of Cusco, right? It's this place that's been inhabited and re-inhabited and built upon. Like, who's to say Atlantis wasn't this place that was revered and used for hundreds of thousands of years? Maybe 500,000 years ago they were living here because it was a beautiful, lush, amazing spot. You had green and fish and trade, and it was perfect. And then every 20,000 years the cycle comes and goes. They die off. Homo erectus comes in, and they're like, oh, look at this beautiful spot. Oh, hell yeah. Look,
finding out they weren't like a bunch of dumb monkeys like we thought they were. Just like with Neanderthal and Denisovan. That's another show we have to do, because they found that the dragon skull that they confirmed it's Denisovan. But going back to that Cave of Bones special, and then what they found, found that structure that's 250,000 years old. That was I
want to know more about that.
Haul, and with the Cave of Bones special, they were burying their dead with reverence, and they were marking their graves, and so they were spiritual in some way, or like most animals.
And that was another offshoot. That was Homo naledi,
right?
So that wasn't even our direct line. So
so
we were doing stuff back then, man.
I agree, Graham. I think that's crazy in itself. And like, why were they washed there? Were they left there?
I mean, I wonder, like, if a big flood did wash over the region, maybe it would have stripped out layers of soil that could have like just left them neatly on the surface. But I don't know. I mean, there's something very strange about the fact that they're all just kind of sitting there. And then getting back to Cusco and like the stoneworking there, you see the polygonal masonry. All the indigenous and the local Peruvians say that was done by the Viracocha. That was done by the gods. It's the archaeologists really that say like, oh no, this was done by the Inca. But if you look at like Machu Picchu, most of the stonework there is like made out of like pretty small, roughly hewn stones. So But yeah, and then, you know, if you're looking for a great ancient city, I would also want to look for like the antecedents of that city, right? Like if you look at the Sumerians, where is like the build-up phase of the Sumerians? Well, okay, Göbekli Tepe, right? It was right next door. And you see a lot of symbols from Göbekli Tepe pop up in Sumer. And so that makes sense to me. But if you're looking for a 10,000-year-old city, it's like, where's the lead up to that? And if people were in the reshot structure from 500,000 years ago, that could provide some buildup, some antecedent context for this city kind of like emerging there, whether or not it was Atlantis. Because there's some interesting things going on in the Azores too. I don't think we can rule out the Azores either.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Atlantis is not just one place. I think it's a bunch of different places that are kind of like how there's the UK and there's America and there's, you know, Germany and Europe and all that. We're like one big culture right now. And if we all got wiped out, you'd be like, oh, it's Atlantis. You're all connected. It's all one big thing, but it's really, we're separated. So it's like, it could be here. It could be over in the Azores. It could be South America. It could, you know, a bunch of different places that kind of just got wiped out. Whoosh.
In our brief conversation at the Cosmic Summit, one of the big problems, I think, especially, you know, non-academic explorers are encountering is the national pride of certain countries. Like Zahi Hawass wants to make the Egyptians, everything was the Egyptians. Well, they're proto-Egyptians, but they want to make it about their type of Egyptians.
National project.
And the national project. It's a national project. And we even saw some of that in Peru. Now, our guide was cool. She was like, no,
it's great.
There's other people. There's people before the Inca who built this stuff. Just don't bring up the Spanish to any of them because they fucking hate them.
They hate Spanish,
and for good reason. But
wiped out their culture.
Yeah, and the Azores is, you know, you come across that problem too, because and we even saw that in Atlantica a little bit. You know, Atlantica, they really wanted to make it about like Spain. You know, like and that's fine. But
that's another location that could possibly be another culture.
Like,
but maybe it's not directly Atlantis.
The Dibbler will accuse us of white supremacy. I'm not. It's not even about that. I don't care what they look like at all. It's just I think there was a proto civilization. Who knows what they fucking look like? I have no idea.
If we're suggesting Atlantis is in the reshot structure in like the heart of Africa, how is that white supremacy?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how that works out, but they're
just kind of following the evidence wherever it leads, right? And really I could see like the mouth of the Mediterranean being an incredibly important strategic location for any maritime culture that could have been active in the Atlantic. So I like the premise of Atlantica, but I would like to see more actual evidence of like what they found.
No, they were really going somewhere. Sure. They were going somewhere, and I saw some stuff that I liked. I needed more data.
We need more data. We need more evidence.
More data.
Yeah, but let's look at the Azores real quick. If you could bring up the video on my YouTube about the Azores, because it's not just the Azores, right? You've got these pyramids on the Azores that are claimed to be built by modern farmers a couple hundred years ago, which I think that story is quite ludicrous. But then you have almost identical pyramids on the Canary Islands. And if you go beyond the Pillars of Hercules to the north and to the south, you know, you get to the Azores, there's pyramids there. If you go to the south, you get to the Canary Islands, there's pyramids there. Yeah, so keep going. I don't know why that's coming up. But yeah, okay, so that is a pyramid on the Azores, right? They call them Maroisush. These are claimed to have been built by farmers a few hundred years ago as they were clearing the fields for agriculture. There's a lot of
lines.
Yeah,
power lines right around.
Yeah, right. There's like over 100 pyramidal-like structures, and parts of this region of the island of Pico really do feel like a lost city. It's
farmers.
Quite bizarre.
Do any farmers take credit for this? Going, yeah, dude.
That was us.
In my spare time from farming, I built this thing.
Right.
You get bored out in the fields, you know, start stacking some rocks.
Yeah. There's also been reports that some of them have tunnels going through them. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, click on that. So that's a ruined pyramid. That's a ruined pyramid in Mexico. But I'm comparing that to this pyramid we were just looking at, and there might be a similar view on a frame in the video that shows this kind of like blown out side of it. But
see that.
Yeah, it's in a different.
Well, we know from Luke Havertz has been on the show. I don't know if you.
There's the blown out side. Yeah, there's the blown out side we're looking at that looks.
We know how much nature can just reclaim anything.
That's right.
So yeah, definitely looks very similar.
Yeah, but now if we skip to the end of the video, we can see shots from the Canary Islands. Back up. At one point, we go, we do a satellite. Yeah, so this is one of the pyramids on the Canary Islands, and this one is actually aligned to the solstice as well. So yeah, I don't think farmers were just accidentally aligning their pyramids to the solstice. I use an app called Sunseeker that shows you the path of the sun, and I think in a few frames, I kind of overlay that onto, there it is. Wait,
right here.
Those lines, yeah. So this is going to show the alignment of this pyramid, the stairway. What we're looking at, that green line in the middle, March 20, that's the summer solstice right there.
Cool.
Wow.
Or no, that's the equinox. That's the spring equinox. So it's aligned to the equinox. Which probably
so as you're stepping up, you're seeing the sun rise right there.
That's right. Yeah, that green line represents the
right
path
here
of the sun on the equinox. So the sun would rise right in the middle of that stairway.
Wow.
How old is this one on the Canaries?
So on the Canaries, they have the same exact story as they have in the Azores. That these were built by modern farmers a few hundred years ago, just stacking up rocks.
They don't. Farmers, you know what they do with rocks? They move them off their field and continue farming.
Yes.
They don't have time to do
takes
things
time
like
and energy to do stuff like that.
It would take a tremendous amount of time, and especially to get the alignment right.
Yeah. And how many farmers knew about like a few hundred years ago? How many of them could read? Yeah,
right. Exactly. On top of it, there's an ancient culture on this island that practiced mummification, but archaeologists in mainstream, they don't give them credit for these structures. Oh yeah, here's another one that looks kind of similar to the one we were looking at on the Azores.
Has there been LiDAR or anything done with these? I've never heard about these until one of your interviews that I watched. Yeah. And I was like, wait, pyramids on the Azores? Wait, huh?
Yeah. And the Canaries. So north and south, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, pyramids in both places. That I think, if anything, I mean, Atlantis, not Atlantis, who cares? It seems like a maritime culture was active in the Atlantic at some ancient date, and we don't really know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Completely lost.
Well, according to the lore of Atlantis, there were plenty of rivers that went in from the Mediterranean, all that you can go all the way down to the Eye of the Sahara and out to the Atlantic Ocean. So it would make sense that would be like their ultimate capital city, especially if it was lush and was providing an incredible amount of food for a city of that size. And then of course the maritime.
Oh, that's a good shot. Yeah, that's the satellite. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
This is a Google Earth. This is the pyramids of Guimar. It's a pyramidal superstructure. I don't have the exact size of it. This entire thing is a pyramid, and it's like the size of a small town. Basically. Yeah, and there's just
now. Where's Guimar? What is that?
This is on the island of Tenerife in the Canary Islands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
A farmer just built this in his spare time.
Did this a few hundred years ago?
It's like one of the most impressive pyramids on the entire Earth. Yeah. It's really cool.
He's plowing. He hits a rock. Oh, I got to stop. I'm going to put this rock right here.
This one's perfect.
Perfect.
With just perfect alignment to the solstice, and it's just very geometrically accurately straight. Like, yeah.
There's a cave. There's a cave in the corner of one of these pyramids where they found an entire cache of Guanche artifacts, and yet they still do not attribute this pyramid to the Guanches.
I wonder why there's so much of that. Like, it's prevalent to just disregard cultures like that. I don't know why that's such a problem.
But Thor Heyerdahl, the famous explorer archaeologist, he lived on Tenerife, I believe, until the day he died in his later life, and he believed until the day he died that the Guanches had built these structures, but that theory had never gotten acceptance. But if you go here, the museum does have a whole display on Thor Heyerdahl, and they do talk about how he believed these were attributed to the Guanches. But they practice brain surgery. If you click on one of these, there's they have this whole display of surgical procedures that the Guanches practiced, and these holes that they'd cut in the skull, and sometimes they'd drop hot rocks. I don't know if these were effective medical procedures, but
Well, the patient looked like they lived because it healed.
Yeah, right. I didn't realize your bone could heal like that.
Damn.
That one healed. That's a heal.
Cosmic Summit last year.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a
point of the hot rock.
Whoa.
That's a healed bone right there. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what happens to you if you get your alignment wrong.
Yeah. Right.
Give him the hot rock.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's brilliant. I know. God, more people need to go to these places.
Oh, and then these are caves. Click on this right there. That with the guy going in. So my guide in the Azores, there's this cave. He got the key to it. No, I don't think anyone has ever seen this. It's a polished cave that is right next
Barabara? Barabara?
Kind of similar to the Barabar. It's got a bunch of farm equipment in it and stuff, but he thinks that it's an ancient cave that was finished to this degree of polish, which is pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Insane.
And then you also find cart ruts on the Azores and other mysterious things. So
were you able to measure the inside of the caves to see if there's any significance?
I did not. I didn't even know we were going to see this cave. I didn't have measuring equipment on me, but it was this polished cave.
And this is just in the bedrock here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just on the side of a field somewhere. Wow.
Yeah. And it has strange acoustic properties. There's this hole that we're looking at where you can kind of speak into the hole, and then it kind of echoes throughout the cave and from outside as well. Yeah. And they don't even really know where that hole goes. So there's a couple.
Wow. Oh
Strange.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, this is great. This is what we were talking about at Cosmic Summit. It's the people going out there. There's no academia even bothering to look at this stuff because they think it's all silly, but you guys keep one-upping them and they get upset. Now they're wondering why all their funding's going away, and it's their behavior and of just a few, by the way, it's not everybody, but it's also you're not doing anything. You're not we have Graham here. I'm going to go out and make videos. I got interested in this stuff. I started seeing it at museums. I'm going to start doing this. And it's brilliant. By the way, is there a link to buy your book anywhere?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you can go on my website, archaiclens.com. And that's got the link to the Amazon and then also a globally available digital download. But then it is also on Amazon. If you just search for the mystery of the naval idols, you can get that. Maybe we can throw the link in the chat somewhere.
Link is in the chat.
Cool.
Is it true that you weren't able to publish the pictures you took from the British Museum and some other museums?
Yeah, so that's an interesting rabbit hole. The British Museum and the Louvre do not let people publish photos of any of the artifacts, even though these artifacts have been acquired perhaps through dubious means. They really play the gatekeeper, and you can't publish photos of any of the artifacts in the Louvre or the British Museum without their permission, which is impossible to get, of course. Yeah.
Wow.
But these artifacts belong to the world, right? They belong to all of humanity.
I agree.
And there should be no friction between people seeing what ancient people expressed.
Yeah.
That's their argument, and I'm not against the argument for keeping that stuff. Is we're trying to protect it. It's okay, good. Now let everybody see it. Not everybody can go to the Louvre,
right? Mm-hmm. Well, and it's this weird anti-competitive stuff. They're just trying to sell more tickets to the Louvre, so they don't want you to publish the photos.
Right?
Yeah.
And
but if you had more photos out there, people would be more interested, and they might go to the Louvre.
Right.
There's a symbiosis there.
Yeah.
They don't understand viral marketing.
They don't at all.
A lot of places don't. A lot of businesses do not.
Yeah.
They really don't. Oh my God. That's really freaking cool though. Yeah. That's stuff, that's why, again, we need people like you to go out there and maybe there's somebody in the chat who's maybe we'll find something. Cusco.
You go to any ancient place anywhere on Earth, there's going to be more to the story there than you've been told. And if you talk to the locals, if you talk to local tour guides, you can't believe everything that everyone says, of course. But I guarantee you, anywhere you go, any ancient site, there's going to be more to the story there than you've been told. And there's great content to make everywhere on Earth.
Where are you going to go next?
That's a good question. I actually just ran a contest to give away 2 trips to ancient sites around the world. And Raul Bilecki won one of them. He has the channel Pillars of the Past.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
Yeah, so we're going to go down to Peru and investigate more of these undocumented sites before they get destroyed by developers. Nice. And then East 100 Productions won the other one. And we're supposed to go to these jungle temples in Burma, but they just had like a horrible earthquake a few months ago, and we're not sure if it's going to be safe to travel there. So we might deviate to another plan. But there's always more places to go to.
There's tons of places to go to. Just on our first trip to Cusco, which was mostly just like our first time, so we're trying to see as much as we can. We didn't really go off the beaten path too much. When we got there, that's when they our guide was like, yeah, every time they dig a pipe here, every time like we find tunnels, we find stuff, and they found all those tunnels,
and they just found those.
They had just found them, and I want to go back and God, if we can check that out,
that would be freaking cool.
They closed a bunch of them, because people were dying, but like there's an entire tunnel system throughout this whole thing, and if you've been to Cusco, but like it's really high up for one. It's in this giant mountain, and that would be really difficult. Like that could not have been easy. And it's mind blowing how much they were able to pull off up there. And just the terraces alone are insane.
Mind blowing.
Tunneling,
The tunnel from Sacsayhuaman to Cusco, like in the what's the name of that temple right there in the middle?
The Coricancha.
Coricancha, yeah. There's a tunnel from Sacsayhuaman to Coricancha. That's
cool.
I mean, that's not an insignificant amount of distance.
No.
Make a tunnel.
And not just Cusco. There's like tunnel systems in many of these ancient sites, right? Like Monte Alban in Oaxaca, Mexico. There's like tunnels all under there, but the public isn't allowed to access them. Egypt. There's like all this seismic data coming out that there's tunnel systems under. Yeah, the labyrinth of Huara or whatever. Like I think that probably many, if not most, of these great ancient complexes also have subterranean tunnel systems. I hope we get to see them one day. I want to go explore those. That would be so cool. That'd be really cool.
One day.
Hey, speaking of Egypt, if you want to go with us, I think there's some tickets left, right? X-ray, do you know how many?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, it was 6, right?
I should actually.
And you're going with Wandering Wolf, right?
Wolf,
Michael,
November.
I can't wait.
Very excited.
It's gonna be a hell of a trip.
Yeah, it's gonna be rad.
It's gonna
be fun.
I can't wait to
Full
touch more
squad.
rocks.
All the nubs. Can we find some nubs there?
Oh yeah. There's nubs in Egypt.
I'm gonna touch them.
Nubs on the pyramids.
I'm gonna touch them with you.
Yeah, we're gonna touch the nubs in the shaft.
We inappropriately touched a lot of nubs. We did.
But they let you. They let you touch the nubs.
That's right.
That's the important part.
Yeah, we're not gonna get me too'd by the nubs.
No.
Not at all. I climbed a mountain in Wisconsin, which is weird because you don't think of Wisconsin as and this was nothing megalithic or anything, but I went to the Devil's Doorway outside the Devil's Lake, and it looks like a Minecraft portal. I took a picture. We talked about it last week, but it looks just like a fucking Minecraft portal. And and you can see it's basically an area where the glacier just carved it out. You can see there's gravel, and it goes from little rocks to big rocks to just a sheer cliff. And then there's this lake where a bunch of the whitest people were out there for the first time seeing the sun. But dude, that was a couple thousand feet, and but we were like, it was like the Montana climb. Melissa was saying it was like the Montana. We were on all fours climbing up this thing, and there was people who weren't in shape climbing up there. They were dying by the time they were but yeah, it's cool. It's a really cool place to go, and I thought it was like good semi training for Peru if we're gonna get back up to Peru.
Yeah.
You'd have to climb this thing like 5 times to be ready for
And for Egypt too.
through. Yeah.
Getting down into those pyramids and back up is like, oof, it's a workout.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready to go.
Let's start our build up to that.
Workouts.
Me too.
I'm just gonna hate the flight,
Fairmaster.
but I'll be over it by then. And we're gonna have we're planning something else with Mike. I can't say what it is, but there's something in the works.
Give us a hint.
Okay.
I can give you a hint.
Okay.
It'd be like like one of our meetups that we like a
Okay.
Nerdrotic meetup, but
Hell
maybe
yeah.
something
Okay.
a little.
Or at least tell us after
Ooh.
the show ends.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know about this.
We gotta make
Meet
sure
up
it happens.
in Montana.
Maybe I know.
All
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
What do
geez.
you know? Or don't know?
well, she knows
I
everything.
don't know.
I
Extra
don't
girl
know
knows way more than
anything.
I do. Okay,
dang
of all that stuff.
Let's just say I talk to a lot of people. Okay.
Okay.
Well, she's privy to like all of my conversations.
She's a
So,
pro.
She is. Let's get to the people. Shall we get to the people?
To the
Yeah.
people.
To the people. Hey, David Stig Hansen, what's up, brother? He's out there.
Hey!
Big.
Ah.
Hey, what's up, Stig? It says ask Graham when he goes to the Richat a third time like me. Are you gonna little braggart there?
Okay.
Okay.
So
Flexing.
technically,
Steve?
I have been to the reshot structure 3 times because the second time I went, we went in, we came back. I realized I didn't get everything I needed, and we went back in a third time. So I have
Wait.
been
You
there-
went through the desert back and forth back to the town of like Tar or whatever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Well,
I'll count it.
we hadn't gotten all the way back to Atar. We were kind of stopped halfway. And I was like, wait, no, I need like some more shots of this. Or I forget what exactly.
That's 0.5. That's 2.5. I'm sorry, I can't give you a full point. You didn't fully leave.
Stig is still like the crowning champion of the reshot.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Oh, we got a lot from Stig here, by the way. Graham has been to the Richat structure twice. I've been there 3 times. Let's talk about when the rest of you will go there.
Oh my gosh. That might take
Down.
It's
a
on the
few years.
list, man. It's on the list.
I have
It's
to go to a few
it's not a
places
comfortable experience. You're eating like
Yeah.
I mean,
cans of
the
tuna fish
camping.
and like sleeping in the middle of the desert and like
It's
yeah.
Let's
hot.
do it.
20.
It's
Five
not
That I can
luxurious
do.
traveling.
I could
Tell us
do
about
that.
those bugs too. The flesh eating. What the
Ew.
hell? What was
Yeah,
that?
You had the
Yeah,
apparatus
tell us
on.
about-
The
What were those called?
leishmaniasis. Or, yeah, there's like some flies that I think they carry leishmaniasis, or if they bite you, you'll get like infected by this thing. But it's the Sahara, so there's not a lot of that. But where you get into like more where there's like people and encampments and animals, or maybe dead animals, or like meat or whatever, water,
Okay.
then the insects all kind of like flock to those areas.
Makes
Because
sense.
they're hungry.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
very hungry and they want to
Nowhere
eat you.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like camping in Death Valley and stuff like that. So I mean,
Oh,
We
yeah.
could do it. I think we could do it.
I can do it.
Yeah, it's
Plenty of
doable.
snakes and
It's
bugs
doable.
there. It's just
No.
all the plane rides getting there. That's what I don't like.
Right.
So here's a tip. If one were inclined to visit the reshot structure, you would fly directly to Atar from Paris. You would not fly to Nouakchott. You would fly from Paris to Atar. It's a nonstop direct flight. Make sure you get your visa online before you go, and have someone ready to pick you up at the airport. Make some contacts before you go, and don't just show up at the airport.
Well, good thing we know a few
Can
guys.
I rent a car?
Yeah.
So
Stig,
you just drive east, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
keep going.
Hope for the best.
Do they have a Hertz at the Atar airport?
I thought I could call an Uber.
I was gonna go with the Waymo. Did they not have? No.
yeah.
I don't have that. there. Dang it.
Stig says, "Where's Graham? Let's go." Well, he's here, but he was waiting
Yeah.
earlier.
Not going
Graham,
back to the reshot anytime
Graham
soon.
was the first YouTuber to reach the Richat structure.
That's true.
Hey,
That's
Cool.
pretty brilliant.
Still.
Finally did something
what?
with my life.
Tell me about it. Someday I might. So well done on you.
we'll figure it out.
Stig once again says Graham for $10. Thanks, Stig. Graham was the first YouTuber to reach the center of the eye of the Sahara. Josh S was there second. I was the first to reach the castle, which is in quotes. Graham went twice. I went 3 times. Graham, when you gonna go thrice? Well, he
Never.
says
He really wants you to
You know,
go.
Is a date. It's like, come on with me to the wrist shot again.
Only with you, Stig.
There you go. I know a group is going to do that this year in October. He ain't lying. He's been there twice. First YouTuber. His find 10,000 hand axe heads and a superb find. What's up, David?
That was cool.
We got to meet David at Cosmic Summit. The maniac.
Hey, David, good job on the Explorers Club. I
well
watched
done
from a distance.
Yep. Well done.
Still in the chat. Still in the
hey,
chat. What's up, bro?
The Dibbler said I was cringe.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh no.
He did.
He did.
Badge of honor. You got to get like a T-shirt. Like cringe.
The Dibbler said I was cringe.
Yeah.
I'm cringe. The Dibbler.
Where's my mask?
Yeah, I can't. You know what? I left my mask in Wisconsin. There you go.
I got one, and I got the second one for Adam. Let me give it to him.
That's me.
He's all. That's me. Thanks for reminding us, Adam.
Hey.
Thanks for reminding
You're welcome.
us.
Just in case anyone's
Hail, the show is awesome. I learned so much. Y'all rock and keep on space trucking. Says PGMD. It's a rant, by the way. Thank you for $20 and Crip Crack for 50.
Hey.
Will you ever do a show in the Coral Castle? Yeah, when we go there. Like if we do a show in the Coral Castle, we'll go there. Like that'll probably.
I lived right there. I lived literally like a 20-minute drive from that place. I lived in the Redlands outside southwest of Miami, and that's where the Coral Castle was. And I would pass it. I'm like, oh, what's that? The Coral Castle. That seems cool. And I just never knew about it until now I know all about it. I'm like, damn it.
I'd like to do in the future when we get more
visited.
You know,
I have those moments
down the line. I'd like to do like full on expedition
ghost
episodes.
hunting.
Yeah. Where it's like a produced episode.
All right.
Places like that, or like Serpent Mound and places in America we could get to fairly easily. But if we go to somewhere like Egypt, do an episode in Egypt, all the locations.
I got some Viking spots I know about in my backyard.
I think that would be cool.
I'm gonna go see those.
Down the line.
Turkey or Malta? Both?
I was thinking Texas because it was closer, but definitely Turkey and Malta.
Sure. All right, Texas.
All of the above. All of the above.
Not as exciting, but.
They found another footprint in Texas. It's a big one.
Is that that really huge one, right?
Yeah.
What is that all about? Do you have a picture? Are you looking at something?
I bookmarked it on my.
Yeah, it's extraordinarily large.
Yes, ladies.
Yeah.
Where was there? It is.
Foot fetish people are getting excited.
I really like ancient feet.
There's an OnlyFans for like 6 toes. 6 toes.
What was that? I'm sorry. What was that AI you were pushing earlier? I just need to need to activate it real quick.
With the completely unleashed AI images.
Oh my!
What is that?
Look at this.
Damn.
Oh my god!
What?
Okay,
Wait,
that's like a size 20 something.
Excuse me?
How many inches is that?
It looks like 30.
Giants were real.
Send me that. Send me. I
Wow.
can zoom in.
Maybe it's 2 feet. Maybe it's 24 inches. Actually,
24.
That looks about like a foot. That's crazy.
Where did they find that?
Texas.
Texas.
They said.
Yeah.
What was going on in Texas?
We don't know.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
That's true.
It is.
Oh.
Damn.
Well, a lot of stuff was under the water millions of years ago too. So we don't know. But I still, that's the stuff, we got to do. We got to go look at the dinosaur tracks.
Yep.
And if we can,
cart
ruts, and then up at White Sands in New Mexico, there's the footprints there that we can find. Somebody has provided us the location. So if we want to go find them, we can go find lots of places in America we can go check out, and maybe we'll do like some specials on something. That's a tease right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Tease.
All right.
A mega tease.
Okay.
Cape Gabe for $10. My basic knowledge of orbital mechanics, Kerbal Space Program. Objects go faster the closer you are to the object you are orbiting. It's why we do slingshot maneuvers around planets with our probes. Yeah, they accounted for that though, because I thought at first when Oumuamua slingshot around the sun, it would make it go faster, and they're like, no, it's not the case because of its speed already. So it affected its direction, but after it left the sun, that's when it sped up. So it didn't speed up when it went around the sun. It sped up after it went
on the
around
way
the
out.
sun. On the way out, it was going the same speed. Then it went like that.
Yeah.
So
It's weird.
Bizarre.
It's very
That's
bizarre and
weird.
cool as hell. B Chain for $10 says, what's really scary is that there's a massive gap between the smallest object that can cause annihilation to the smallest things we can physically detect. Most things we don't see until it hits us. That's true. We're lucky, like they're
Isn't it exciting?
Isn't it great? Hey,
Life on the edge.
Sleep tight. You can be sleeping under a Tunguska and just be vaporized immediately.
Yeah.
You just
there's a way to go, I guess. That's a good way to go.
Yeah.
It's probably happened before.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's definitely happened.
It happened in I'm forgetting the name. It's in Syria or Jordan. It was in Jordan. They talked about it the year before at Cosmic Summit, and we did a show on it.
Oh, Dr. With Malcolm.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, and they with the blast radius and like it blew everything in the town into like basically the side of a wall, and it was all impacted there, and they think it was an airburst. They're pretty sure it was an airburst over this settlement, and just vaporized everybody, killed everybody instantly, and that was only a few thousand years ago. So that was when we had writing and all that stuff. Brian Fraser for $10. Curious if the Diane Mudra depicted in Buddhist statues could be related. First time super chat, by the way. Wait.
Welcome in.
Welcome. I got to get I'm back home and my buttons are different. So what the Buddha statues? I mean, do you think there's any similarity there, Graham?
Yeah, absolutely. The Buddha is often depicted with his hands kind of like holding his belly. And I think that that could very well be a continuation of this symbolism that we find going all the way back to the very beginning of civilization, right? So yeah, I think that absolutely could be related. It's a little bit different, but then again, if you play a game of telephone over 10,000 years, things become a little bit distorted and a little bit changed. But I do think that echoes the symbolism there. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Some Norwegian guy for 59 Norwegian Krona said heard Jamie Kennedy talk about Chrissy Mayer yesterday and said he'd go on FNT. Fucking okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do it. You'd be more than welcome.
I like Jamie Kennedy.
If the flood happened because of cloud seeding, which we know they do, all involved companies and people spreading should be charged with negligence, homicide, if not manslaughter, jailed and sued, says Mod Eric. I mean,
absolutely.
If it was man-made, yes. I think we are post El Nino, right? And when we get post El Nino, our weather's fucking crazy.
It's weird.
Every 5 to 10 years in El Nino. So living in California, if you get old enough like me, you see the cycles. So you see that there's a cycle of drought. It's always 5 to 7 years, and then it rains like hell in California because of El Nino. And then there's a La Nina, which is the opposite. And then we get to the drought, and it oscillates back and forth. It's not exactly 7 years. And what happened was a tropical storm went over Texas and just sat. And when a storm slows down,
it like came in and then just sat right there in hill country
of rain.
And then
15 inches of that's rainforest shit in the middle of Texas. It
got up to 18 inches in San Angelo. So West Texas, where I'm from, like 18 inches over there, and it flooded over there in West Texas. So yeah, it was crazy. It's not too crazy to expect that there might be some floods in Texas. It happens. But this one was just a really bad one.
This was just a bad one.
Just because it's sat right there.
That's the one thing we were warned about moving here was, and that's part of the reason, like in certain parts of San Antonio, your structure has to be, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, I think it's like half or 2/3 stone. So your house, like our house is made out of stone. And it's the local limestone. A lot of it's the local limestone. But yeah, there's lots of flash floods here because
Yeah, it
it's
happens.
Texas is the giant bottom of an old sea. It's very porous. Video I saw shows the new object headed towards Mars, possibly returning home. Maybe. That's talking for $4.99. I need to go home. Coffee fan for $2. The moon is practice for going to Mars and beyond. Well, we need to figure it out. We also need to go to Europa.
Did you guys watch Randall's moon video yet?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. We'll talk about it.
We do that
I love
next-
it.
we should do that next week.
You gotta watch it. Oh, you did see it. It's so good, isn't it?
It's so fucking good. It's about
I gotta watch
time
it
you
again.
started talking about the moon. God damn it.
God,
The
it's so
honeycomb
good.
stuff?
The moon
Oh,
is
he
very
goes-
mysterious.
He goes
It's
way
crazy.
deeper into it, man.
Ah.
It's the Randall video about the moon that like we've been wanting, and
Okay.
I knew you'd like it,
We
Gary.
should do that this week and like talk about it next week.
Let's do it.
Next, I want him to do the flooding of Mars because there is
Right.
There's evidence
tons
there too,
of
yeah.
evidence of massive floods on Mars, like massive
Mhm.
floods. So come on, Randall. Some people say Yeti and Bigfoot videos are AI, says Andrew Matthews. From now on, they will be.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I know.
You mean the ones where the Bigfoot's
yeah.
at like the airport and at Walmart? And,
Those are
I
real.
think they
Well,
might be. They might be AI.
but-
I'm sure.
and like of all the
There's a chance.
subjects we cover, that's why ancient civilization it will be the one that grows the most because you're looking back and you're not basing you're well, for one, there's more actual real information, there's more evidence, we have more people into it, there's more actual scientists, there's some serious intelligence involved in it, and there isn't as much government cover-up going on as there is in ufology. Also in ufology, there's so many frauds and charlatans, and there is in the ancient civil, believe me, there is. But it's muddied the waters for it completely. And then, you know, the government coming out and saying, yeah, we're ready for disclosure now. And, you know, most of us are going to go, what? No, shut up. I'm not going to believe you. So that's why, you know, we need a cool term like ufology for the ancient civilization and what Graham's into and what everybody else is into. There's not like really a good term
Yeah.
for it yet.
There's
We'll
like
get
alt
there.
Good point.
history or alt archaeology, but that doesn't even.
I
cover
hate that
everything.
term because it shouldn't be alternative, right? It's
Yeah.
like history is history, and
Exactly.
either it's true or not, either it happened or it didn't. And
Maybe
Yeah.
it's better.
Gives
It
credence
doesn't
to
have
the-
a term. Maybe that's just better, you know.
yeah,
Bubba Doom for $5 says, did you see the video of Corbell released? That's what I seen, but there were 3. I've also seen a white one that turned red in almost the same area. What, the ball lightning?
Interesting.
Well,
Maybe.
I don't know.
so the ball lightning video, they're saying it was just a fire on a power line, but it
Oh, okay.
looked like a ball of energy on a power line. That
It
and it
did
happened
look
right
like
after a lightning strike. So who knows? Who knows? Thanks, Bubba Doom. Eric K for $5. The
Bedouin?
Bedouin people live in the desert, not nomads. They are some of the nicest, most generous people in the world. You know, they usually are. I don't know. When I go places, people are pretty cool.
Yeah, Peru was
Same.
awesome.
Peru,
They
They were
were
fucking
so
cool.
nice there.
Yeah.
Even the UK
Uh,
was cool, except for that one guy that yelled at me because I didn't cross in the crosswalk.
Gary
Oh.
trying not to laugh at Homo erectus.
Was it English?
I laugh every time at Homo erectus because I'm fucking 12 years old. Okay. Every time I laugh at it. Hanson for $5. The red, white, and black stone is the same stone, just different phases. I've been there 3 times. It's created by a
Just so you know.
pattern transmitting Birkeland current from some type of astronomical energy discharge.
cool.
Ooh. Okay.
Wait, but how many times have you been to the Eye of the Sahara, though?
Yeah.
Not sure.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Maybe he'll say.
All right.
How many
No.
times have you
Maybe
been to
he'll let us
Hawaii,
know.
Stig? I've only been twice. No, 3 times. I've been to Hawaii 3 times. Some Norwegian guy for 59 Norwegian krona. The Heyerdahl, the Kon-Tiki guy, was one of the early guys questioning the origin of the Canary pyramids. Yes.
Mhm. He was the
And
OG.
what he,
Yeah. Thor.
Absolutely the OG. It was basically Eric von Daniken and Thor Heyerdahl and Charles Berlitz. That's what I was reading when I was like 9. And those were some of the first books I was reading. So if you want to know,
worlds of difference between von Daniken and Heyerdahl.
total worlds of difference. And Berlitz. Like Berlitz is out there too. But that's, one of the early, we were just talking about Coral Castle. That's one of the earliest memories of watching the show called In Search Of. Leonard Nimoy did In Search Of. That was the gateway drug for a lot of people of my generation to get into Art Bell and Zachariah Sitchin, who again is really out there. But that's how I found all these people, and by the way, you can get the complete series of In Search Of for like $30 on Amazon. If you wait a couple more days, it might be cheaper for Prime Day. There you go. There you go. Highly recommend it. Everybody in this field needs to watch that. For one, it's memeable as hell because there's the one where he's like, well, it's kind of come around, but he's like, the Earth will be plunged into an ice age within 20 years,
Like, oh, where's that ice age coming?
But you also get older archival footage of stuff that before AI that, and it really gets into some pretty deep lore, and it wasn't muddied as much with the modernity we have to deal with today. Some of it's absolute bullshit, but some of it's really good. It's a fun watch. And it's like, it was a creepy show to watch as a kid. It had this like creepy synthesizer music and it looked like 8mm and 16mm fucking film footage. So it just like naturally looked just creepy. It was great. Love the show. Switzerland Play IT rant for $1 says, I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here, everything is soft and smooth. Thank you.
All right.
David Stick Hansen for $2 more. You heard Graham say it. Giants were real. Confirmed.
Don't quote me on that.
I'm going to quote you because by the way, our friend Hugh Newman, who is seriously one of the coolest dudes in the field, like one of the nicest human beings. We bought a bunch of his books, and we're going to do a giveaway pretty soon. Right here on Forbidden Frontier, we're going to give away Hughes, and he signed them for us. He signed them for us. He's a sweet guy.
Heck yeah.
So we'll do that. We'll get that set up for next week.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
Boom.
Giants.
This one's mine. He signed for me.
Cool.
Yep.
It's not you.
That's cool.
That's the one I want to be real. More than anything is Giants.
Homo erectus were probably giants.
Yep.
Right? I mean, like, what's the giant? Like tall? Yeah, the Denisovans.
Denisovan were 7-8 feet tall.
Redheaded.
Pretty smart.
Yeah.
Pretty smart. And then what happened to them? We all had sex with each other, and it just
Snoo.
Nature settled on us for some reason. I don't know. Or we killed them all. Stig says, Gary, Graham should have been on the stage with you and I at Cosmic Summit. What do you think? I agree. I think Graham should have given a talk.
Yeah.
Tell that to George Howard.
George.
George.
Give him a talk.
George.
We love George.
Yeah.
Rook takes awesome. Rook. Yeah, George is awesome. For $1.99, a donation. Doesn't say any thank you. We appreciate it. Bubba Doom is this the last one?
And then there's some member messages as well.
Yeah. Just for conversation's sake, I just shared a pic on today's X post for FF. In all fairness, it's easier to carve that position. Where did you post
the picture?
You got the picture?
Whoa, who's that?
Bubba Doom.
I haven't seen that one before.
Bubba Doom just carved it.
Oh, they just carved it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's awesome.
You're like, holy shit.
I've never seen
Not in my book.
Bubba Doom, I hope you made one for every one of us.
Yeah,
No,
I hope you made one for everybody.
Yeah, if you bring up Urfa Man again real quick, there's like they carve space between the arms, and they carve extra material away. That could not have been easy. You risk cracking the whole statue. Maybe the statue did crack, actually.
Yeah, right in the middle. It does kind of look like
Yeah,
it.
and according to academia, this is the first statue. So
right.
Well done on the first statue ever made.
Yeah.
So
also, I can say, like, traveling around and looking at all these ancient artifacts, there are hand positions in every single position you can possibly put your hands and your arms in. It's
Mhm.
wild. This is the only one that repeats throughout all the cultures.
So cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And wouldn't the
Means
easiest
nothing.
place to be
Means nothing.
would be like straight down the sides?
Coincidence.
That would be the easiest.
Burrito Man Jr. just says hail. And Jason J says, gee, brain, what shall we do tonight? Well, you'll
Same
think.
thing we do every night.
Try to take over the world.
Yes. A freebie. Hurrah, says Flav. All right. Dragon Lizard, welcome to the travelers. And y'all rock, says Mark Clark. Thank you. We agree. Well, okay, my mom agrees, but only one of them. The other mom doesn't. Whoever gifted me a membership, thank you, says Mr. Squiggles.
Hey, Squigs.
Laslud, $20 rant, says, Dad had the insert of an 8mm while it was out, and we got to watch it at home. He loved it and was a history teacher and in naval intelligence. So you're talking about
The Navy.
The Navy and In Search of. Yeah.
Interesting.
They used to show it to us in school. They did. They showed us a lot of crazy shit in school. They did. Watership Down.
Damn. That is not a kid's.
That was not
cartoon.
cool to show us that when we were like 7. We're like, what the fuck? Stig Hansen for $5. I love you, Graham. No Homo Erectus. Buy his book, guys.
I've got a fan.
And his name is David Stig Hansen.
Yeah.
Sophie for the last one for $2 Peruvian said, Saludos, familia. Oh, we miss you, Sophie.
Oh, I miss you, Sophie.
We
Next
miss
time,
you.
we're going to get there.
We'll see you down there. All right. That was a fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming
joining.
on. And we would love to have you back. Please
Yeah.
get the book. The book is great. Like, well done on that one. And yeah, George, have him talk next time at
I
Cosmic
need a
Summit.
copy of that book.
Yes.
You will get a copy of that book, Adam,
Yeah.
somehow by buying
I
it.
will.
Don't be a cheap ass. Go buy it.
Okay, calm down. Jeez.
Buy it now, Adam.
Jeez, crap.
Graham, tell the fine folks where they can find you.
Archaic Lens is my Twitter and my YouTube. So yeah, you can go to x.com/archaic lens. You can search YouTube for Archaic Lens. You can go to my website, archaiclens.com. And that's pretty much it. Or you can find me at ancient sites around the world on any given day.
Right. Just go out to the Rashat structure
Yeah.
and wait for Graham.
There.
I'll be
Third
there.
time.
I'll be
Yeah.
there with,
Give you a
I'll be
tour.
there with David Stig Hansen riding in Toyota Helixes.
Yeah.
What do you got coming up, X-Ray Girl?
Tomorrow I'll be around for the Nerdrotic Nooner, and I'm still catching up on so much stuff since I've been gone for the 2.5 weeks. So hopefully a stream at some point, but I think I have a lot of paperwork to do. But and then Real BBC on Tuesday will be on our channel,
Yes.
Nerdrotic. So
Garrett,
an hour earlier.
an hour earlier. Yes, that's right. An hour
Oh,
earlier.
yes. I know why. Tomorrow, Base Staff Monday on Adam Crigler's channel. And then after that, I will be streaming some more Mad Max on my channel. So come check that out. Last time I streamed for 7 hours. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of
Damn.
fun. Crushing cars.
I got that game. I bought it.
You got to play that. If you have not played it, you got to play it.
I
It's
bought
freaking
it.
awesome. It's freaking awesome. So come do that. Thank you. And the Superman this week.
Yeah, that's why
Very
we're an hour
excited.
early. Superman. I got to get ready for Superman.
Uh-huh.
Superman.
Makes
Yes.
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. You know, it sounds like everybody's just going to love the movie. There's no discourse around it at all.
No, completely
nothing
uninteresting,
whatsoever.
really.
It's because of crypto.
Yeah. Adam, what do you got coming up?
Well, I got my show Monday through Friday on the Crigler Show YouTube, Base Staff Monday, of course, with the boys. And then Friday nights are my jam nights. I actually have a meetup. I set up my own show. I'm actually going to be playing music. I have a 2-hour set September 13th in the Arlington Ale House in Chicago, Illinois. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't played a music show in I don't remember. I think 2019 was the last show, but I used to play in New York all the time. CBGBs, Joe's Pubs, bunch of different random bars, and I love it. I'm a musician, and I'm finally gonna play a set. It's been forever, and it's gonna couple as a meetup. So if you're interested, I got a bunch of people from my chat that are gonna be heading to Chicago in September to meet me and see me play music. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I don't know if anyone's interested. I'm just excited about it. So. And I think some people that Garrett may or may not arrive. I mean, he might just appear as well. So that would be pretty awesome. And
yeah,
Wisconsin's kind of around the corner.
I'm in Wisconsin, I'll get there. If I'm there,
if you all are gonna go, I have to go too. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're in Wisconsin, and then you're in Canada. That's like right there, right? I don't know. So I don't know. Yeah.
I will not be in Wisconsin during the winter, but all the other
September,
times
though.
it's fine.
September's beautiful.
Nice. September's beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Bugs.
Great.
Yeah. And Graham, I don't know where you are, so I mean, if you're anywhere close, you're more than welcome.
I'm coming.
Oh yeah, I love it. Woo!
Meet up in the Rashat stretcher. Let's do it.
Here we go.
David Stick Handsome, you might as well come too.
All right. Lots of streaming, Superman, lots of crazy stuff coming up. Book going on sale.
Book Friday.
On Friday.
Oh, it's
and
coming up.
I just got this. If you're going to SDCC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's that too. I will be at a meetup at San Diego Comic-Con with Ing the Merciless and Frank Gore and the big man Gabe El Taib, which I'll be at his table too, signing Saturday, I believe, at like 1 or 2. So if you're going to San Diego Comic-Con, I'll be there. It'll be fun. Hey, no Hollywood this year, so it'll be a good con.
Yeah.
We can just shop for comic books and do comic book stuff. By the way, happy birthday, John Byrne, one of the greatest comic book artists who ever lived. Happy 75th birthday to you. And that's it. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. Graham, thanks once again for coming on. We really appreciate it. Did a great job.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Adios.
Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.